Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all well. Just on the channel Melanie King, I think. Melanie King. I mentioned the channel before. The title of the video is called World War Three Incoming. What King Charles did. Just what what King Charles just did is sounding the alarm bell. Couldn't fucking read there. Yeah. So World War Three again. It's predicted it for about 6 months now, and I think again my only prediction out there really. Well, I'll have two. I'll take two: the World Cup crack and the start of World War Three, and we're in Satan's little season. That's my other prediction. Um, he doesn't speak for Britain. His institution's on its last legs. Incorrect. Like, this is the thing. Is they run the show. They really do. I fail to see how people can't grasp that. You know what I mean? That he's called the king. She was called the queen. It's their army. It's their government. They're on all the money. They're clearly in charge, but they've just told you they're not, because then they don't get any grief. We give it all to Keir Starmer and the politicians. But Keir Starmer goes and meets the king every week for a meeting, and he's not been fucking got rid of it. He's doing a good job, you know what I mean? Keep mentioning this. He doesn't work for us. He works for other people, and he's doing a good job. He primarily works for the king, you know what I mean? Primarily works for the king, and he's doing a good job. There's no designs to get rid of him from them people from that angle. He's pulling this off brilliantly, to be honest. And if he just stalls on slightly longer, we'll never get rid of him because he'll have emergency powers and we'll be in the Third World War. And I genuinely think that's what's happening as well. That we're being strung along. All we need to be doing is strung along for another 2 months now, and then the world will be very different very quickly, and we will never get rid of Keir Starmer or Labour, probably. There'll be no elections. There'll be these elections in a couple of days here, but we'll be getting no general elections. Um, yeah, very much the plan is World War Three from the global elites, of which King Charles is very much one of them. Behind the Economic Forum, he's in the fucking United Nations, all this crack. So yeah, World War Three is the plan. I can't stress that enough. Even I've said lately, like I hang on to the hope that it won't happen, but I ultimately know it will because it's massively part of the plan. And the world government is born out of the Third World War. This is why we have to have the Third World War, because the world government that they've planned on for decades and centuries here is born out of the Third World War. So we have to have the Third World War. So it's bad times are really coming here. You need to stock up on food again. I mean, I can't even tell you the amount of possible bad options that can happen to you in the near future here. There's too many. There's absolutely too many. That's why you need to do your education before the ball starts rolling here. But just buying food, at least you won't starve to death. There's many other levels that you can be fucking took down here, to be honest, but at least you don't starve to death. Apart from that, I can't help you on a lot of issues here. I can't help you with the fucking Muslims, you know what I mean? The economic collapse, that can't really help you there either. You're gonna have to fucking buy food now, you know what I mean? There's lots of things coming down the road here, and yeah, ultimately buying food will help you. But there's a lot of other things that are coming. That's like, again, pandemics, vaccines. Stay away from them. Fucking stock up on food before money goes to shit, and there is no food due to fucking petrol problems. Like all this bagwash. You know what I mean? So we're just on Melody King here. World War Three incoming. What King Charles just did is sounding the alarm bell. So we'll have a listen to this.
Well, this is something you don't see every day. King Charles is in the Congress right now, addressing the Congress. This has not happened since the 90s. Wow. Why? What's going on? Who's into politics? I need to know what's going on. This is kind of a big deal.
Well, we're going to get back to that in a second because this isn't just about King Charles visiting and speaking to Congress. This is unprecedented. It hasn't happened in decades. And it just may feel just like a normal run of the mill, a dignitary, a monarch, a head of state, whoever, visiting the US, speaking to Congress. But I think you need to understand the significance. I want you to listen to, really quickly, what King Charles just said. And then we're going to go, of course, as always, layers deep. I will not be on camera. It's late night. And this is something that I think is urgent that you must hear and see because eyes need to be opened before it's just too late.
Well, it could already be too late, to be honest. The ball is very much rolling here on everything, on the war, on the economy, on the fucking replacement, the migrants, the fucking civil war. The ball's rolling on everything. We're not quite there yet, but the ball is rolling. Again, my predictions: we've got about 9 weeks. You've got about 9 weeks of life being like this, like a semi bit of normality. And in about 9, 10 weeks' time, there everything's going to go to shit massively over, possibly overnight or very, very quickly anyway. Once the war, a world war, actually starts. So yeah, you've got, in my estimations, you've got about 9 to 10 weeks to prepare for the ultimate bagwash here. I would very much suggest you do something. You know what I mean? You do something.
Aftermath of 9/11, when NATO invoked Article 5 for the first time, and the United Nations Security Council was united in the face of terror, we answered the call together, as our people have done so for more than a century, shoulder to shoulder, through 2 world wars, the Cold War, Afghanistan, and moments that have defined our shared security. Today, Mr. Speaker, that same unyielding resolve is needed for the defense of Ukraine and her most courageous people.
Look at all of them. Standing ovation, clapping about more war. Guys.
Yeah, and not one of these people, or probably any of their children, will go to war.
This is what our Congress is doing. Clapping like, just trained circus animals to just, on cue. But we've seen this before. This is what is coming. Why is King Charles talking about war and wanted us to do more? More. The U.S. needs to do more. There needs to be more. Because, guys, it's going to an appointed end. But it goes deeper. It goes much, much deeper. With Iran, guys, do you understand how depleted we are? What has happened to our bases, our military equipment over there, our THAAD systems, our interceptor systems? We are depleted. And now it was just announced we're ready. We're about to invade Cuba. I want to show you this. Now, a lot of people, let me move this down. A lot of people were focused on Trump at Easter. He didn't give an address, which is normal. And instead, he was talking about bombing Iran, the civilization, to, nothing. Civilians. But what people did not pay attention to is what King Charles did. Well, normally every monarch who is the king or queen of England is the head of the Church of England, the Christian church. You know what's going on over in the UK and Europe in mass with Islam and all of that. So, but breaking every tradition and not speaking on Easter about Jesus Christ, he decided to skip it this year. as the head of state, not just like government or just royalty or monarchy, but the head of the Church of England, a Christian church. He didn't give anything. He didn't say anything, but he definitely gave a Ramadan address. And so did Prince William. Nothing about Easter from them.
Yeah, I mean, I've mentioned this, and we've been sold out here. Again, it's obvious, to be honest. It's absolutely obvious if you've got the eyes to see, and you do a bit of. I mean, you don't even have to do a bit of research, to be honest. Again, we're just following the news here. You know what I mean? Following the news here, it's plain to see we've been sold out to the Muslims here on so many levels, honestly. And I really do think once this war starts, of which King Charles is talking about here, and as well, especially if they send all the English white men off to war here to Ukraine to fight their war, well, that's going to leave all the foreigners here, isn't it? And all the Muslims who won't go and fight their war, and ultimately then there's no males in the country anymore, so they've got free reign on the women and they can take over. And very much, I think that's where the civil war is going to come in as well. Once the war starts, a civil war will erupt, and ultimately that civil war will lead to the Muslims taking over Britain. And again, that's what I'm kind of seeing here. And all the things I'm saying have been mentioned. The civil war. We're watching the Muslims slowly take over. The king's fucking on for Ramadan here and not for Easter. So sold us out because ultimately as well, this is Satan's little season, as I keep mentioning there. And the Islam's of Satan, as the nun Miriam we seen the other day there said, Islam is of Satan. It is Satan's little season. It's the end of the game. Well, yeah, they're gonna rise. They're gonna rise, and they're gonna do bad things as well when they rise. Well, they've already done them all over the world. To be honest, it's gonna get real bad by the looks of things, because as well, this is depicted to be as well, not to scare anybody here, but the worst time in Earth's history, which is a very, very long list to top here, to be honest. Absolute beautiful list to top the worst time in Earth's history. So, especially for us white people, it would seem. Well, not the ones who've sold us out here, you know what I mean? Not the ones who've sold us out. So, yeah, honestly, I don't think anybody can really understand what's coming down the road here. But I think you can kind of get a picture of it from what we know, or I can anyway. Play a bit more.
But about Ramadan. Guys, the New World Order is coming to pass right before your eyes, and you have got to wake up. Listen to this.
Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Mubarak. Ladies and gentlemen, as Muslims across the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth begin preparations to celebrate Eid after fasting for the holy month of Ramadan, I just wanted to convey my heartfelt best wishes to all who celebrate this festival, and to tell you just how much my wife and I are thinking of you at this special time of year. This last year, I know, has been deeply challenging for us all, and I'm only too aware of the impact of the pandemic on the Muslim community. This year, so many families, like my own, will have an empty seat
Bunch of fucking parasites.
at their dinner table, and friends are no longer able to share
The big fucking dinner table that we pay for. We pay for all the fucking food. We pay for your heating, all your fucking castles there. Apparently they're ours. Bullshit. So, they're a lot of knobheads, these royal family. I've told you all along, you know what I mean? They sold you a good thing with the Queen there. The Queen pulled it off so well. But she was a knobhead as well. She really was. So, the whole family are cunts. They're all parasites. They're fucking evil. They're satanic. Paedophiles. They're all knobheads, honestly. The Queen was as big a knobhead as the rest of them. She just played you all for an entire life and played you well. So if you believe the Queen was a nice person and you're in for up for the monarchy here and all this bullshit, well, you're an idiot who had the wool pulled over your eyes for your entire life. And the Queen was just fucking brilliant at it, to be fair. But the rest of them aren't. Not one of them is, right? Not one. Maybe William's not bad. But the rest of them are fucking shit at pretending to be nice people. Absolutely shit at it. So this guy's a cunt, a total cunt. His brother's a cunt. His sister's a cunt. His mum was a cunt. His dad was a cunt. The entire family, they're all German and they're all cunts. And he and his mates will start a big war and send you and your children to die in Russia or Ukraine or Iran. Not a problem.
Celebratory hug after Eid prayers. Salamu alaikum. Ramadan Mubarak.
Excuse me, sir. How old were you when you made your first million?
What is this for?
We're trying.
There's no point. The money's going down the toilet here again. Selling you a future that doesn't exist.
to get
here.
advice for the young.
Selling you a future.
So there you
that doesn't
see
exist.
that. But it goes deeper. Now, have you heard of the Black Eye Club? In fact, and before I play this, let me play this other one so you can get an idea of what's going on. Because, like I said, nothing is as it seems, guys. You have to look at this as entertainment. Don't be alarmed. Don't feed them your emotions. That's what they want. They want an energy harvest in these last days. But it's all coming together. God sees it all and it's all knitting together, right? For the final judgment. And we are seeing it unfold in so many layers. And this is just another layer to add on top of it.
Have you heard of the Black Eye Club? The last meeting Trump and Elon had together, you saw Elon had that black eye. I don't know if you noticed that. And you look, there's different politicians and members of royalty. After something happens or something's about to happen, they'll show up with a black eye. They're saying that it's like some sort of like initiation or...
Yeah. And my question is,
Presidential abuse.
if
Definitely can't be that.
if you're the richest man in the world, you're in the Oval Office getting interviewed, nationwide television,
Get some makeup.
that's a personal decision.
He wants to show that he's in the club.
There's like Prince Andrew, who was tied to Epstein.
Yep.
And there's just other politicians that it's like the same type of black eye.
Did he address why I don't know.
He said his son hit him.
Which is crazy.
Dude,
My son's hitting
the
me.
kid's got some freaking hands, brother.
Yeah.
It's
It would
true.
take a lot for a 4-year-old to put a shiner on somebody. But
also-
in the exact spot that every other person of power.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
It's also interesting that you could also say X when he's like, it could be meaning like maybe it's a metaphor for the company.
The
like
company's
something that
killing.
he's doing.
It's a big club and you're not in it. And it's, guys, there
Yeah, it's a big club, and we're not in it. Said that before. And George Carlin, very, very famous speech that he made, and all of it true, to be honest. When you've been sold down the river, again, the people, the zombies, can't wrap their head round that you have been sold down the river. We've all been sold down the river here by basically all the rich people and the celebrities as well, as you can see here. They're very much in on the game. They're the ones who keep you fucking stupid and blinded and onto fucking celebrity bullshit instead of politics, where your whole world and life's being flushed down the fucking toilet here. So, yeah, it's a big club again. You're seeing all the people with the black eyes, the Black Eye Club again. It's part of a initiation ritual into the satanic ways of the fucking weirdos here. So she's right as well, the woman here, Melanie King, that the final judgment is coming. We're years away from the entire end of the world. There will be no world. And we will all be judged by God in the great white throne judgment. Believe it or not, you will believe it when you stood in front of God being judged in the white throne judgment. Believe me then. Yeah, this is Satan's little season. It's the end of the game here, the absolute end of the game. You're going to see the worst time in Earth's history. You need to prepare mentally for what's coming here. Again, stock up on food and don't starve to death, because that'll be fucking terrible. But you need to mentally prepare here for the ultimate bagwash, because you are going to face the ultimate bagwash in the non too distant future here. It would very much seem, and there will be no internet. There will be no more internet. You'll be on your own. So the knowledge you gather at the time of, well, probably about 9 weeks' time here, maybe a little bit more on the internet there, but eventually the internet will be took down. So you've got a couple of months to get up to speed here, and ultimately you need to be diving into Satan's little season, and you need to gain faith, and you need to believe in our God, because when the Muslims come and they try and convert you to Allah, Allah, who the fuck is Allah? Well, Allah's basically Satan. So on the great throne judgment there, you've been worshipping false gods. That's the end of you. One of the 10 commandments there. I think it's possibly even the first one. Do not worship false gods. false idols as well. All the celebrities, the footballers, all these human beings, all false idols. There's only one person to worship here, God and Jesus. That's the game here. That's the only game in town, unfortunately. I did not make the game. I am just in the game with you. We've all suffered the same game here. Yeah, you need to get up to speed now because we are running out of time. Honestly, I don't say that lightly. When I said it last year, you had a bit more time here, but now I say it with a slight worry in my voice that we are running out of time here, real quick. To be honest, the days and hours are ticking by real fucking fast here. Some of us figured this out in time, so you might want to listen.
There are so many pictures. There's so many videos of this, and they've tried to erase a lot of it. And you see a lot of celebrities with it, but it's politicians, royalty, heads of state. Like, it is everyone. And I'm going to show you what it actually means in a second. And this includes King Charles and many of the others. Now, I may have to move this around. I don't know how this will appear because X makes things look a little crazy, but let me play this. Now, I took off the sound, but that's Doja Cat, Kanye West, Adam Sandler. Like, I mean, you guys get it. On and on the list goes. And I mean, every single one of them has a black eye. How many people do you know who have gotten a black eye? Many. And we're also talking about the Pope, religious leaders with a black eye. What does it mean? What does it mean? Well, I'm going to show you what it means. I'm going to show you what it means. So this says the Black Eye Club real parasite theory. Guys, they're getting to alien disclosure. Let me move this over. None of this is conspiracy theory anymore. Do you understand what we're dealing with here? None of this is normal. They're about to disclose aliens. We have members of Congress saying that in underground military installations that aliens are mating with humans to create a super race. Well, that's always existed. The Bible has said this. Fallen angels mated with the daughters of men, took them as wives, created Nephilim, hybrid demonic humans. They don't die. They have to be destroyed and cast in a lake of fire in the final judgment, Armageddon, which has not happened. So they've never left.
Yeah, well, 1/3 of them, 1/3. I believe Satan possibly, or somebody, when they were all being chained within the earth. I believe the tale is Satan asked if 1/3 of them could remain on Earth to test the human beings of Earth, so to speak, and their faith as part of the game, because that's ultimately as well what you needed to look at. If you take this life too seriously, you're going to be real upset, right? You were born into something that's ultimately a game. It's not even our game. Like, we're playing the game, and the game is very important, but it's not our game, right? We were just born into this. We didn't set it up, you know what I mean? It depends what angle you want to look at this from, but the minute you start believing this world is the be-all of everything, and you know what I mean? You're in a lot of trouble here, because this could be very much the end of this world. And the Third World War as well. There's two possibilities with the Third World War. We're either going to actually have the Third World War and birth the world government, and then the aliens are going to come into play. Or the aliens are going to come into play before we start the Third World War, but we're ready to fight. And we're going to go north and ultimately attack the camp of the Saints. This is why Trump wants Greenland, because it's the most perfect staging area for the Western world to attack the camp of the Saints. So it can play out one or two ways here. We might not have a war, or we might actually have a war, and then go on from there. I mean, the reason we're faking tribulation here to deceive the believers. So the war, according to tribulation, is 3.5 years long. So that's why there is a possibility we might have a Third World War for 3.5 years, because if they're faking tribulation and going to play this right out, then we need a war for 3.5 years. So But it could just be a ruse to gather everybody, all the conscriptions, and then ultimately pretend we're going to attack Russia and pretend we're going to attack Iran, and Russia pretend they're going to attack America and vice versa, when ultimately we're all going north to attack the Camp of the Saints in the guise of a war. I don't know exactly how it will play out, but there's a couple of options here. Maybe got 2 or 3 options of how this is going to play out. I mean, the worst one is we do actually have the Third World War for 3.5 years, which is a possibility. It absolutely is. So, yeah, I mean, anyhow, we're talking about this Black Eye Club and fucking demons. And, yeah, demons are the Nephilim, the disembodied souls of the Nephilim that could not ascend or descend because they didn't come from anywhere in particular. There were abominations. They weren't supposed to ever be here. So, 1/3 of the Nephilim disembodied spirits roams the earth as demons. That's what demons are. And they do possessions and things like this. It's the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim, 1/3 of them, which is quite a lot. There was a lot of giants, absolutely loads of giants. So there'll be lots of demons. So, yeah, can these demons enter people? Is demonic possession real? I think it is, but maybe just not to the extent that we've shown to on films, like where her head spins round and she spews everywhere. You know what I mean? The Exorcist. I don't think anything to them extents, but yeah, I believe demonic possession is possible. But you've got to let these things in, and like, if, for instance, being christened is possibly a way that you cannot be possessed. Again, it's not a big thing within the Christian community, really. Again, it's often in a I see Catholics getting possessed in like Italy and stuff. You know what I mean? In South America there. So, but you never hear of Christians being possessed. And again, we've been christened in the name of Christ. Is this far more important than we could ever believe? I don't know. We're going to find out, by the way. You're going to get all the answers, all of the answers, in the non-too-distant future here. You'll be given the answers, and then this will be the white throne judgment. All the answers are coming. Neo. So, Nephilim, disembodied spirits, Nephilim, demons, 1/3, roam the earth. Is this something to do with the Black Eye?
They can't get past the firmament. That's what all the rockets and NASA and all that, they want to break through the firmament, but the Bible says it's impenetrable. And this is why the firmament is so important, because if you don't understand every layer, if you don't unpack it, if you actually believe history and what they've taught us, how insane it is, and we've just accepted it because it was school indoctrination. That's what they taught us. That's what they have conditioned us. Our entire experience in the U.S., but around the world completely, every country, but the U.S., because that's my experience, has been one giant MK Ultra psyop. You're telling me the World's Fairs, we built those in less than 2 years, and then...
Yeah, she's on it. This woman's absolutely on it. Like, she's a Satan's little seasonist, I believe, here. Yeah, the World Fairs, the buildings, the Millennium Reign of Christ. We've been through all this, to be honest. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around in many ways, but then not if you get enough information. You've got to understand that the school system was built by these people in the 1800s. Everything we've been taught for generations, right back to our grandparents' parents probably, is a lie. It's their version of his story. It's a lie. It's not true. The history's all over the place. If you really look at it, it's all over the place. Again, these buildings, we couldn't build these buildings back then. We just couldn't. We couldn't build some of them now. Definitely not in the time frames. Honestly, we are in Satan's little season here. That's why there isn't much good in the world, or there isn't like divine miracles. Although they have the miracle of Fatima there. It's witnessed by hundreds of people. The miracle of Fatima, I believe it was called. Covered it in a video in Portugal there, I think. We do get signs and wonders, but they're very, very few and far between now, because this is Satan's little season. Other things happened. There was a church, a staircase built in a church. I think that was in America in the 1800s there by a possible saint. So the saints, everything, like, that's the other side of it as well. The saints and Jesus are still on earth now. They're in the camp of the saints. They're in the New Jerusalem. They're up north, but maybe not land-based at this time due to the ice. But yeah, they're all still on Earth. It's all still here. Like again, the end game is to go and attack them, which ends the world. So they're all still on Earth now. They're just hiding because this is Satan's little season, and this is why we don't see the signs and the wonders like we hear of in the Bible that were 10 a penny. You know what I mean? Because the good went away to play the end of the game, and like this is literally what's happened. The good have went away so we could play the end of this game, and ultimately it's a test. It's a test. Can you pass this test? Can you figure out what's going on, who's in charge, what the rules are, and are you willing to follow them in the aftermath? And that's it. That ultimately, that putting it down to as basic and simple as it can be made. That's what's happening here. You know what I mean? Right, so demons anyway, demons.
Decided just these were temporary buildings. I've played this for you. Yankee Stadium, 700,000 tons of marble, granite, and steel that was constructed for the upper layers, the underground layers, and the tunnel system of Yankee Stadium with horse and buggy, hammer and chisel. Where did they get the materials? And then they went back to their shacks, these settlers who were marvels of engineering and craftsmanship, carpentry, just randomly. Oh, and they did it in less than 10 months. We could not do it today with modern technology and unlimited resources in less than 6 years. But no, they did it in less than 10 months. They founded these buildings. They found things. We can't do what they did in the past. These ancient buildings, the carvings, all of it is connected. It is demonic technology. Guys, if you do not understand these things,
we probably could do it now. I mean, we've done that church in Barcelona there. I mean, we would struggle with the acoustics. And again, it's testing like stone to the very edge of its tolerance. And we would make mistakes probably. And you know what I mean? These people didn't make mistakes. It's fucking perfect. And like, yeah, it's more about the acoustics. How the sound bounces off all the, like, it's perfect in every way, in like geometry, in acoustics, in like the how it's structured with the weight and everything. It really, these buildings, when you really look at them, and for the time that they were apparently built, we couldn't do it. We couldn't do it. We really couldn't. You accept the fact because they're there, so we had to have done it. But our history isn't true. This wasn't us. Like the civilization that we are wasn't our civilization. This was before the world very much changed in the 15, 16, 17, 18. I mean, it changed massively all the way through, to be honest, till we got to about the 1800s. And then we settled down into the world we know today, and it was born out of there. Again, we've kind of been through this, but if you haven't, you need to sort of look at Tartaria, which isn't Tartaria. It's Satan's little season. But a lot of the Tartaria stuff stands, you know what I mean? The buildings and all the information. It kind of stands, but it's just the end result isn't Tartaria. It's Satan's little season. But honestly, everything coming out of the Tartaria mud flood, all this kind of orphan trains, it's all relevant and all true, but it's just not Tartaria. Tartaria would seem to be part of the Millennium Kingdom, and again, the flag and the griffin, I think it is, on the flag, kind of gives that away. So, we still haven't got to these fucking demons yet, and the Black Eye Club on it.
You will be deceived, and that's what they're counting on. They're counting on you calling it tenfold. They're counting on you being distracted, spiritually dead, and not seeing beyond the veil. But they've all said it. They've all shown it. They brag about it. But then they convince you, and that's the fun part for them, that what you see is no. They always have an excuse in propaganda and the mainstream media and everything else. And then it's reinforced in multiple ways. But listen to this if you've never heard it.
I fell. I was walking down the stairs. I hit my head on the banister. Jay Leno's on video. His whole left eye, his whole left side of his face is black and blue. And he has fallen down a hill, he claims. What's going on is something called soul scalping. And this is where a draconian, viril powered parasite, a reptilian, comes in through the left eye and within 2 weeks kills the soul of the person it's inhabited, but takes over their memories and their consciousness. And it appears as though these people are not going through an initiation. They're not being punished for anything, but they're notables and people of influence. Now, we don't know this, but I'm surmising why these individuals would have the black eye, why they would have the reptilian consciousness. And that's because they're people of influence. And that would be of interest to the race who really is our masters. Now, we think we're top of the food chain. We eat cows, we eat fish. Fish and cows eat other things, etc., etc. There's a pyramid of who's on top of what food chain. Well, what if we're not on top of the food chain? The thing about the Black Eye Club and this reptilian incursion through the eye, and I'll go into a little more detail of that in a moment, is that we're told by whistleblowers and we're told by certain text that to maintain the life force that they have just assumed, they need to have high stem cell blood and in large quantities, the kind of blood that would come from a baby. And if they can't have a baby's blood, then it's going to be adrenochrome. And only if this were true, then it would go a long way to explaining the child trafficking, the deep underground military bases where there's baby factories and the babies are sacrificed and the blood is used and adrenochrome is created. What if our masters require this? And what if our masters were all the people that we respect and admire and vote for, but they're really no longer themselves? Now, let me take you a little bit further into how this works.
Now, what got me on this? You know, there's been a lot of talk, and let me make this a little bit smaller so you guys can see it better. You know, like all of these actresses, look how dark and like possessed they look. I mean, and speaking of Olivia Wilde, and I'm going to show you King Charles in a second. We're going to get back to it. Angelina Jolie. I mean, I can get into a lot of layers of it. Who is this? What is happening? So outside of the Black Eye Club, this is what they're looking like. Have you seen all the celebrities? This is a whole nother video. That's Olivia Wilde. That's Olivia Wilde. So outside of the real, outside of the MK Ultra, outside of the soul swapping, all of this is all part of, this is what they do. Guys, if you're not understanding this from the Epstein files, you've got to wake up. This is not conspiracy theory. You can see it before your eyes. Look at these people. Let me see what else I have. I mean, look at Maxine Waters. I mean, and we can get into Joe Biden. I've talked about him many times. This woman doesn't blink. Okay, there, she did a blink when her eyes finally moved, but look, it's like a mask. We already know Joe Biden was wearing a mask, guys. There's so many layers to deception. My stomach is growling if you guys can't hear it. But look, I mean, the list goes on and on and on of this Black Eye Club. But let me just show you this quickly. Because like I said, I can be here all night talking about these things. We can get into celebrities who look identical to each other. Sorry, it's all the way over here. It's the way X puts things. But like I'm not gonna play this whole video. But when I say their faces are identical, fallen angels, Nephilim, all being related, it is wild. But look at this with King Charles. Hold on. Look at this. All right. Yeah. He's part of the club too. Now, TMZ did this lighthearted, kind of jokey segment about it. It's the only one I could find right now. Just really quickly tonight, I did some search. I know there's more of him being part of it. So, oh my gosh, have you seen Queen Elizabeth? I'll play part of this, but it gets into like, it's actually good to see how the media tries to play things off. They do this every single time. And if you call it out, if you say the truth, if you speak on these things, you're the crazy one. Guys, they're about to do alien disclosure. And you think real and these alien-like creatures with actually demonic beings going into someone's eye? You think?
Yeah, I mean, that's always been the crack as well. Like they're gonna bring the demons back as aliens because it's the only thing that can bring them back as. Because the minute you figure out they're demons, you're gonna realize that it's all true again, and you're gonna go to Christ here and be saved. And ultimately, this is about you not being saved, about taking your soul to hell, because ultimately that is all Lucifer, Satan, the devil, whatever you want to call him. That's all he has here. That's all he has. He's lost the game. He knew he lost the game. The fucking idiot shouldn't have started in the first place, but he did. And ultimately, yeah, he's lost. All he ever gets is how many people he can take to hell and rule over in hell, so to speak, or the lake of fire, or just take you to lake of fire in general if it's destruction there. So yeah, it's kind of the game, really. That it's that simple. Like, it is that simple. You're playing a game for your soul, and these people want to take your soul the wrong way, and we're trying to push you in the right direction. And the world, you know, is an absolute hell shithole. And even when it was good, in comparison to what it could be, because ultimately the people in charge are all Satanist fucking weirdos. And again, that they are Satanists, this can be proved. Again, they don't just worship Satan for the laugh, you know what I mean? Like, these people are the cleverest people in the world, with all the money, all the power, all the technology, and these people are worshipping Satan. So you've got to find something in that. If you're an atheist, you've got to find something in that to get on a level of this is all true. But these people and their network and their schools and their universities and their fucking control for over 200 years has covered up the truth. It's all been meant for you to think that it's fantastical and all. Honestly, like, you nearly need to dive into the information here and get your head wrapped round that the Bible's true, God's true, Jesus is true, the devil's true. This is all true. You were born into this. And again, another. There's loads of, like, when you really start working your way through it, lights start coming on, and you end up a fool in the end that you didn't know this was true in the first place. In a way, it's kind of how it swings around here, because everything's based on religion in the world. The year 2026 AD, Anno Domini, the year of our Lord. Like, everything, there's churches everywhere. There always has been since you were born here. The Bible has always existed. You were born into this world. This tale runs through this world like you've never seen. Like, the Muslims, it's the counter story of Jesus, you know what I mean? They don't believe he was the son of God, more a prophet. So these tales run concurrently in a way that the Quran and the Bible, and again, their jihad is our fucking tribulation, so to speak. So yeah, it's all out there. It really is. It's just been covered up, and people and me and lots of us have been digging for years, and we've figured it all out in time here, and we're just trying to help you figure it out before the clock runs out here. But I'll be the first to say it's mental.
Think this is really that far-fetched? Are we? Come on now. Come on now. You got to be wide awake to really see it, and they're counting on us being asleep and distracted.
King Charles had a bit of an injury, a very upsetting eye injury.
Oh, if it's pink eye, then it's contagious.
The king would never get pink eye because that's from poop hands, and he doesn't wipe his own butt, right?
Does the king not wipe his own butt?
What?
Yes, he does. Of course the king wipes his butt. If some rich dude...
No, they don't. It's called the royal... I think I've mentioned this before when the Queen was still alive. No, they don't wipe their own ass. There's the royal. It's got a name. It's actually got a name. And I don't even think they get rid of the shit. Like that, it's like it used to be fucking kept out of it. I think. So it's a royal stool or something. Like, again, you can look into that. I have mentioned it before, but probably on a different channel.
Advertised to hire a butt wiper. Is that an HR problem?
Not if you disclose what you're doing, right?
No, I'm actually serious.
I think this is not hypothetical for you. I think you are serious.
I'm not looking.
Anakin's like, please no, please no. I think this is not hypothetical for you. I think you are serious.
I'm not looking.
Anakin's like, please no, please no.
You see the clownery? You see the propaganda? You see how they switched it? They don't investigate or ask anything. TMZ is not serious. Well, they don't want you to think they're serious, but they definitely steer the conversation. They definitely do. Just look at, they didn't cover anything with the Epstein files. Is it because Harvey Levin is in them? I mean, guys, they're all protecting each other. But look, they don't want you to know, guys. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, I really don't care about politics. I don't care about any of this stuff. It has no meaning. It's coming to an appointed end. All of the things that have added up, digital ID. I just did the thing about the cars, the Iran war, the energy infrastructure that's been hit, the global crisis, energy crisis, the lockdown that's about to come, famine, pestilence, as the Bible says, but pandemics, as they've admitted to. By 2030, they want everything wrapped up in the beast system. People say it's a new world order, great reset, but it is the beast system, and you are seeing it all come together. But I wanted to put this out there because you can't just take the normal thing that's out.
Yeah, the beast system, again, it's all, she's right, again, we've been through it all, the digital ID, again, everything she's mentioned there, the fucking testing, this, again, because they're going to fake the tribulation, and the war's part of it. So, and yeah, and they're ultimately faking all that, because it's Satan's little season here. And they're wanting you to hope Christ's coming back, and they're either going to fake Christ coming back and deceive you that way for the world religion, or Christ isn't going to turn up here and your faith will be decimated, but you'll start believing it was all a lie, and you'll go the way of Satan. So, yeah, the game's afoot here. It really is. Time will tell for all, you know what I mean? But it's not looking good. It's not looking good. Yeah, we're just trying to, again, trying to warn you, really, prepare, and not just physically, mentally, because you're about to enter the bagwash, yeah? Like the ultimate bagwash, it would seem. Again, could be 9-10 week away here at this point. As soon as we get an escalation of the war, we're waiting on a big event. Could it be the World Cup? We'll wait and see, but yeah. Gonna leave it there. It's 9/11. Yeah, that's the time. So 9/11. We'll leave it there. Peace.